So I'm onboarding multiple new employees at the same time. How do I ensure we stay on track when trained employees are stretched thin? So this might be a little controversial, but the in PT, at least when I was working for someone else, the training was very light, right? So I have a license, I'm a warm body. You're going to start filling my schedule day one. I think that's a mistake, just from experience. When we hire a PT, we want them working side by side, an experienced, competent clinician, right? Not in a silo. And this, again, this is PT, PTA, marketing, billing, front desk. You have to give some space for that person to have their own cognitions, their own realizations. And we find the best first step is for that new employee to do nothing more than watch what the experienced, competent person is doing. So I know in our main office right now, we have a new therapist who just started. She is training with the clinical director and she's watching him. It doesn't mean she's not treating, but she's definitely not carrying her own full schedule as of today. But as her competency improves, as her confidence increases, then we're going to start building her schedule as she can handle it. But and especially with like a new grad, PT or PTA, new license, as they come in, if you're just smacking them in the face with 40, 50, 60 visits in a week, that can be really rough. So what ideally we want to happen is, one, the new employee watches the competent person, right? And as their competency and confidence increases, they can start taking on a workload. The key is for the competent individual to now turn around and give ongoing critique and feedback to what they see the new person now increasing in competence and confidence, what they see them doing, right? So maybe they didn't know how to do a progress note, or maybe they didn't know how to have a conversation with a referring physician, or maybe they didn't know how to handle somebody who, some outlier situation where I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you get the idea, right? So there's some outlier situation, they're not sure how to handle it. They want that experienced mentor beside them to help guide them, right? It's beyond the scope of this answer, but there's a very good concept called situational leadership. And there are basically 4 levels that any person goes through as their competency and confidence increases. And at the basic level, in the very beginning, we're doing nothing more than giving instruction, right? Telling the person exactly what to do. The next level up, we're giving them some coaching, and we're basically telling them, here, first I gave you what to do, now I'm going to give you why you're doing that, right? Here's why we follow this 7-step exam. Here's why we do the progress note this way. Here's why we do test, treat, retest at every single visit, right? Next level up, we're giving support. And this is when competency and confidence are higher than when this person initially started. There's a really good book on this. It's actually called The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay-Stanier. I recommended it for years. Check that out. It's 7 questions that kind of take the load off of the mentor in terms of creating answer and being the resource, the only resource, and that new employee can start taking on solving their own problems, right, for the majority of things. And then finally, we have delegation at the end, right? That's when the team member is now independent, they're running their own schedule, and we're basically keeping an eye on metrics. So I kind of give you like one fell swoop of the entire team member life cycle from beginning to competent and fairly independent. But that's the idea of what you're doing, how you're helping every team member you hire ascend from level 1, where you're having to tell them what to do, up to the point where you're just delegating and watching metrics.